powerful rainfall has led to historic flooding in Florida. In Pensacola alone, some estimates say as much as 22 inches of rain fell over 2 days. And overnight, an apparent gas explosion ripped through the county jail in the city, causing a deadly partial building collapse. Let's get the very latest from the mayor of Pensacola, Ashton Hayward, joining us now. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Kate. How are you?
Doing okay, doing better than I think the town of Pensacola is faring at the moment. Let me ask you first about that apparent gas explosion at the county jail. Not clear from what I've seen yet if it is weather related, but what are you hearing?
Yeah, what I'm hearing right now, I'm getting the details as we speak. They're coming in. I understand there's over 600 inmates here, and over 100 folks had to go to the local hospitals here, and there's potentially of 2 deaths right now. So I am getting the details, and I've heard the same thing, that it was maybe a gas explosion. So I'm getting the details right now.
Any concerns where the inmates are? I assume everyone's probably being cleared out of the jail, even though it's a partial building collapse, but I'm sure it's dangerous at this moment. Where are all the inmates?
Well, the inmates, they're setting up a temporary jail right now as we speak right now. Some of them that had to go to the hospital, like I said, are over 100 are at the hospital. They were able to contain the others, so we're taking care of that right now.
So let's go from that to what the entire community is dealing with. You are breaking records for all of the wrong reasons overnight. Tell me, put it in some perspective, what it has been like, this historic rainfall and the flooding that is taking out roads in your town.
Well, as you know, public safety is number one, and our citizens' safety is number one for us. But most importantly, Tuesday evening, the storm just parked over Pensacola, Kate, and it didn't move. We were hoping it would move to the east at about 25 miles an hour, but it just hovered over Pensacola and dumped over 22 inches of rain in a matter of 24 hours. So it's been devastating to us. Obviously, we're prepared for hurricanes, but when you talk about flooding, Pensacola has never had this kind of flooding.
Yeah, and I was saying, of course, Pensacola's on the water, so folks are used to that, but they're not used to this kind of flooding. And I think I heard that you grew up in one of the neighborhoods that was hardest hit. What happened to it?
I did. There's a street called Piedmont that runs east and west in Pensacola, and it just completely blew out. The retention ponds from near our airport just overran and came right into this street, and it was an old riverbed, over 100 years ago, so the water just completely blew out. But, growing up over there, you never imagined that we would have flooding on this street. The asphalt blew out, the sewer blew out, the gas blew out, and it devastated homes right there. And so it was really almost, it was surreal.
Absolutely. I can only imagine what that looked like. So what is the situation for residents right now? Do you have people that are missing? Have you heard of any fatalities or emergency vehicles? What are they doing?
Well, yesterday we didn't have any fatalities in the city. There was 1 death, we believe, in the county. However, people are displaced from their homes right now, so they're going to be displaced for weeks and months. So we're managing that situation right now. We haven't had to rescue anybody over the night. The water did recede, which we were very fortunate. But we're just being proactive and obviously taking care of our people, and public safety is at the forefront.
Absolutely. And from what I can see from where you are, it looks like the rain has stopped for the moment. Are you expecting further rain today?
No, we're not. The weather dropped about 20 degrees, which was interesting. So we have a little cold front that came through here, and we're expecting skies to be clear.
So that's a good thing that is helping out search and rescue efforts and recovery efforts this morning. What are the biggest challenges that you are going to be up against as first light comes up?
Obviously, as organization and public safety, but most importantly from an infrastructure standpoint, we've had some major damages within the city of Pensacola, and they're contained, which is a good thing for us, Kate, so we can manage people getting to from work. However, we're going to have our team together in the engineering department, obviously, getting the roads temporarily repaired so we can go forward.
I mean, you've talked about that one road being completely blown out, and we've seen some video of a lot of flooding, but put it in some additional perspective for our viewers who maybe haven't been to Pensacola, who don't understand what kind of flooding you are up against. Have you ever seen anything like it?
I've never seen anything like it. Obviously, I lived in New York City for a long time, and we would have flooding, obviously in the south end of Manhattan. But I can tell you, imagine walking out of your front door and then just walking right into a river about 4.5 feet deep and water running right through your front yard. So it was, like I said, kind of surreal and an anomaly for Pensacola to have this kind of flooding.
And what's your best advice for residents this morning? They probably are waking up not knowing what they're about to face when they walk out their front door. What are you telling them?
Well, I can tell you it is dry. Obviously, the temperature did drop. The schools are canceled today. However, parents are going to have to go to work. So just use caution, be smart. People know our city. It's 37 geographical miles. And just manage your way around the city and be careful and be cognitive of, obviously, the law enforcement and public safety.
Absolutely. Have you got any cost estimate on how much this damage is going to cost the city quite yet?
You know, just a guesstimate right now, but I can tell you it's over the $100 million mark.
Ouch. That's a painful price tag to be looking at in just over 24 hours, Mr. Mayor.
Well, we know how infrastructure is, and a lot of infrastructure is under the ground, so you don't see it above ground. So there's a lot of money that goes into that. So we're going to, you know, put a pen to the paper and get focused and get after it. Yeah,
but the cost right now, obviously, is not the priority. It's making sure everyone's safe and making sure the roads are passable and that everything's back up and running. Mayor Ashton Hayward, thank you very much, Mayor, for coming on. Good luck today.
Thank you, Kate.
Of course. Wow, Chris, they're up against a lot.
Telling me, boy, I'll tell you though, if you're a resident of Pensacola, we're going to put pen to paper, we're going to get focused, and we're going to get after it. That's what you want to hear from your elected official. That's to be sure. We'll find out what happens once
There are historic flooding levels in Pensacola, Florida, washing away portions of homes, forcing some people to navigate streets by boat. And overnight, also a deadly gas explosion caused a partial building collapse at an area jail. CNN's Ed Levendera is at the jail with the very latest. Ed, we spoke to the mayor of Pensacola just a short time ago. He says he grew up in Pensacola and he's never seen anything like this.
You know, and Kate, that's really saying something considering the number of hurricanes and powerful hurricanes this region of the Gulf Coast has seen. I spoke with many people yesterday who said that the flood levels and the flood waters that they saw here rivaled any kind of hurricane they'd ever seen, nearly 20 inches of rain in 24 hours. But this is the situation that emergency officials are dealing with here in Pensacola this morning. That is the county jail, an explosion late last night, killing 2 inmates, having to force the evacuation of this building. ATF and the state fire marshal are investigating. You can see the power of that explosion and the ripple effect that it had through that building. So a lot of structural damage there that they're dealing with. But it was those floodwaters that, for the most part, have finally receded throughout the region here from Mobile, Alabama, all the way into Pensacola. Those waters have receded, and people are getting a good chance today to continue the cleanup efforts, Kate. And what we saw throughout the area was powerful. In some homes that had taken up to 3 feet of water, other neighborhoods that were swallowed up by 5 feet of water into their homes. So a lot of cleanup left for these folks to do. And everywhere we went yesterday, people were telling us they had never seen anything like this or dealt with any kind of rain with this intensity and this magnitude for such a long period of time. Kate?
All right, thank you for the reporting.
Breaking news, a jail in Florida has been nearly leveled overnight from a huge gas explosion. People in the houses around there for 3 miles say they felt it. 155 inmates and guards are injured. And we've learned that 2 of the inmates have died of their injuries in Pensacola, Florida last night. 600 inmates are being moved to other jails. Rescuers say that they've done 2 sweeps of the building already to make sure nobody is still stuck inside what remains of that building. The preliminary report about the disappearance of Malaysia Air Flight 37. A firefighter jumped into the water to save a guy clinging onto a tree so he wouldn't be swept away. Now, other people were rescued from rooftops. Wow. And from the tops of their cars if need be.
To come up scenic, there's trees down, turn down 9th, and you can't go any further, then turn down Bio, and then I get this.
Water was coming in through our garage and then through the back doors and flowing in out this door. So we just had water in the house. We little kids, we were getting a chair to perhaps get in the attic. We didn't know what exactly was going to happen.
Well, flooding is also blamed for one woman's death in Pensacola, Florida, after her car was swept away. More video outside of L.A. Record heat and strong winds could fuel